Hello, this is a Hot Wheels unboxing slash showcase video. Yeah, I've been meaning to post a video for a while. Not had a chance. Well, say I've not had a chance. I've had a chance, but I've been building up a lot, and we've got a lot to get through. I've done a few shorts, but in terms of mainline videos, I haven't obviously done anything. Yeah, we've got a lot to get through today. We have got the new. I say new. Is it Mix 3 2024 Boulevard series vehicles? There's 5 in each set, and we've got all 5 here. Usually Boulevard doesn't interest me, but when we go through this I'll explain why. I've got a couple of main lines, including the new treasure hunt, and a 2024 Mix 3 2-pack, which I'll go through, and something a bit rarer, something a bit sort of retro, you know, like my retro stuff. We'll go through that in a bit, but let's start with the Boulevard stuff. Now, like I said, Boulevard doesn't really interest me because they usually do sort of street cars like this, and as you know, I collect race cars, but these all interest me, and we'll go through and explain why. Boulevard's been going for a couple of years. It's kind of Hot Wheels' main showcase for their cars, really, and I think there's a few new castings. I think there's 2 in this set at least. Boulevard has been going for a while, as you can see. We're on 101 here, and I think there's 1 or 2 more mixes after this one. I think there's 1 more mix after this one. So it's been going for a couple of years, and as these are not themed sets, these are just releases. There isn't any special editions, there isn't any chase cars, any treasure hunts. These are just standard issue premium, gold premium main lines. Here's all your information on the back. Hot Wheels Premium. Boulevard section, obviously they've rebranded with the gold this year. And these are the 5 cars in the set, which we'll go through, including in particular this one. All your sponsors there on the bottom. Now, you're never finding these in stores in the UK. Probably the only place I think would be Smith's Toy Store. I think that's probably the only place you'd find any of these, to be honest. But as they are all very popular, especially this set, you wouldn't find any. So you're not going to find any. But let's start off with this. This is the 1955 Plymouth Savoy, which I think is a new casting. It's not one I've seen before. I looked through my collection, couldn't find one, and usually a car like this wouldn't interest me, but because it's sort of a drag race car, and it's got this kind of retro rusted design on it, it caught my eye, and that's why we got into it. Part of the Hot Rod Garage, not something I've seen before, but in partnership with Motor Trend, which you may have heard. I think they're on YouTube. I love the Boulevard artwork, very cool. Sort of, guess that's an American diner they've gone for there. Well, makes sense. American car. And yeah, let's get it open. Like I said, I haven't got one of these. So, not something I've seen before. But let's get it open. Let's have a look. Now remember, these are all full metal castings. So here we go. Proper rubber tyres there. And as you can see, it's got the thick tyres on the back for drag racing. And some nice decals on it as well. Full metal chassis there. All your Hot Wheels info. Of course, everything is usually made the year before and then brought out. So just let that sit there for a second, see what you think of that. I think it's a really cool casting. I mean, I'm a big fan of drag racing, especially old school American stuff. And this looks really clean, actually, despite the rust. Almost like, especially if you look at it from the front, looks like a villain car or something from the 50s and 60s, almost like Christine. Was that a Plymouth? So I think it was. It was a Plymouth or a Chrysler, wasn't it? From the Stephen King novel. I can't 100% remember. I think it was a Plymouth, but maybe not this one. But yeah, and it feels really smooth, really nice casting, and it just sits really well. I mean, move the camera slightly so you can see. But yeah, it just sits nicely on there. But yeah, not one I've seen before. So very nice. We'll just move that to put it out of the way there. I think this second one, and then remember in order 102. This is the 1999 Ford F-150 SVT Lightning. I've got a few of these actually. I think it first appeared as part of the premium Fast and Furious sets because it was in the original film, and it's been fairly popular in mainlines recently. This is a 2024 mainline, so this is plastic with some decals on there. Clean again, very cool truck. And it also appeared in the 5-pack. I think it was last year or the year before they did the Hot Wheels Racing 5-pack. I've got a copy of the pack somewhere, but I always really liked it in the racing decals because they did used to race these, I think, in America at some point. I think there was a spec series for them. I don't think they were the full-on trucks, but there was a spec series. So it was on the TOCA video games. That's a nice look. I've got 2 of those. Yep. And it also came in a multi-pack. I think this was last year in the white, and I think it just looks good in every paint job, really. I mean, these are all plastic, of course, but I think they all look really nice, really smooth, and they could be passed off as racing trucks, support trucks, or just anything on the street if you're supporting your team. And that's why I quite like these, because they are sort of racing trucks, but they do look cool. I mean, the casting is very nice, so let's have a look. There we go, obviously it's a bit heavier. I do like the rims on it, sort of 90s style, clean, black with the silver chrome. Beautiful artwork on the headlights there as well. And you got the bay. And there's the rear SVT, the decals on there. Difficult to see, but it is fully black, full metal. 2019, see, it's been around for a few years. Before COVID, post-COVID. And it looks really nice, especially in a cluster. I think I have about 5 or 6 of these now. Just a really smooth 90s, definitely 90s classic casting. As I said, normally I don't go for street cars, but because of its history in the Fast and Furious and its racing history, I've gone for that. The next one is this Porsche 964. Again, I wouldn't go for a street casting, but for me, the paint job really works. The paint job is what makes this car, I think. Love the retro rims as well. You've seen them. We've seen them quite a few times. The sort of fairy dusters, I think they're called. Seen these a few times on the retro rally cars. Definitely 80s vibes. This isn't 80s, mid 80s vibes, 70s almost. Just a really smooth casting. Very beautiful. Let's open it up. I thought I had a couple of these. I think they have been in mainline a few times, but I couldn't find any, unfortunately, to compare with. But never mind. This one does the job itself. Look at that beautiful Porsche artwork there. I mean, you'd own one of these when you can see this you can see this in most countries. Really, just stands really well. Cruising lovely. Let's look at the bottom. See if this gives us any information on it. 2016, yes, it has been around for a while. Not sure if it's been a premium casting before. It's definitely been in mainline, I think, and possibly Team Transport, but I would have to go back and have a look. It just sits so nice. If you want to see cars that just look good, when they're not moving. I mean, this look good moving as well, but doing YouTube stance wars, because this will be up there, tell you what. Very, very elegant car. Just a beautiful casting, it really is. Beautiful casting. Then we get onto this. The 1986 Ford Thunderbird Pro Stock, another drag car, but of course a bit more modern than the 1955s we saw, and it's in this really striking purple 80s colour, I guess. Got the full gear on, it's got the drag tyres, the air intake, the parachute, and it has been around in mainline for a couple of years, maybe 2 years now. I have a couple in mainline. Here we are. I think this is one of the first ones you can get it in. I think it was you can get it in a single casting or in a multi-pack. It's got the engine there, you can see it see-through. The cool sort of pro stock rims, bigger rear tyres, parachute on the back. And these are both mainline, both very similar. It's hard to see with the sort of lighting, but this one is actually darker than this one. But they are exactly the same. Well, they should be. But this one is darker. A little bit, enough. Maybe a mistake there, or maybe one of these was in the lights for too long. Maybe sitting in the window and the other one was sitting in the back. I think that's really nice, actually, a really cool feature. I have a few more of them, but I couldn't find them. So let's have a look at this one. There we go. So chrome silver rims. I mean, they look really very retro. Again, see-through engine. You see a bit more clearly on this one. Sort of metallic paintwork. All the lights have been done. The artwork is very 80s, very striking. Especially down the top, look at that. Beautiful. Looks like a butterfly almost. Rear lights have been done, and there's the parachute deployment on the back. Yeah, it does stand out, I think. Definitely stands out. And that drew my eye. That was one of the cars that drew my eye there. But this one, I think, and I'm pretty sure this is a new casting, the 2024 Honda Civic Type R race car. And this is probably the most searched one. You wouldn't find this in the store, you'd have to get it online, which is where I got mine. I got the whole set for about 30 quid. Couldn't get it in the shops. But this is very popular because of the Spoon sponsorship. Everyone loves that. Very rare. Only one of the Hot Wheels casting has it, which was a classic Honda Civic EG from a couple of years ago, which I don't own, but I'm sure I can find one for a couple of quid online maybe to complete it. But yeah, this is really rare. People we find over there, will probably have like 5 or 6 in their house. Just the Spoon sponsorship, and it's just a proper Japanese racing car. Let's have a look. Sorry, bit of a cold. Look at that. Yellow and blue two-tone. Japanese writing on the back. Spoon Sports. Very, very, very interesting racing team. Lots of history. And produces beautiful racing liveries. Love some of the details there. You got the lights. The spoiler, which is very nice. The twin exhausts on the back with the rear diffuser. You got your classic 95. That's the number they usually run in. You got these very unique black racing rims, and the front look just looks mean. It's 2024, it's brand new. I think that's nice. And as a set, like I said, Boulevard doesn't really interest me, but I mean, come on, as a set, that just looks amazing. All 5 castings are unique. All 5 castings are brilliant, and they're all good in their own little way. I mean, that's the pier de resistance, I think, but they all do look really, really good in their own right. And we had to unbox them. We had to look at them today. And they'll go in the collection. And you're probably wondering if I keep the cards. Yes, I do. We'll keep the cards. Apologies. But yeah, these are all brilliant additions to the collection. You can't deny that. I mean, the gold premium has really been stepped up with the artwork and the designs and the list of cars. If you want to have a look, go on Google and search Hot Wheels Boulevard. You can see their full list. I think they're up to 115 now. With this last, I think we've got one more mix 4 to come in 2024. If you want these, I mean that one in particular, go online. This one's going for like 15 quid at turn, but you can get the full set for 30 quid. So just buy the full set. Trust me, you won't regret it. You will not regret it. I'm just gonna sit them in the back so we can remember what we've looked at. We're gonna go through some main lines very quick. In the last video, or one of the last videos, I talked about treasure hunt cars and super treasure hunt cars. You can see the treasure hunt logo there, and there's another one there. Treasure hunt logo hidden underneath, and it is also on the vehicle. I did find another treasure hunt, one of the last ones. I think it was in case P. And here it is, and I spotted it because I saw the treasure hunt logo on the car there, and it is difficult, but it is there. It is. It's the Chevrolet Impala 1959. Been in a few castings, been around for a while, and this is in part of the Hot Wheels Celebration races. So this is probably Day of the Dead. You could see this in Mexico, couldn't you? And I think it's quite a nice car actually. Even a fan of the rims. Never usually a fan of white ones, but with the skulls it does look very nice. So that will add to my treasure hunt collection. And I got that from the Entertainer, so they are possible. You just got to find them. I think I've got about 8 or 9 different treasure hunts now, so we'll put that in the back. A couple of the main lines. We got the BMW M3 wagon, new edition, or newish edition, even though it doesn't say it. This also was in a blue variant. At the moment, it's just in mainline, but I probably expect this to be in Team Transport or in some sort of BMW pack at some point. Very sought out car, very popular. And you can see why, really. I'm not going to open that, but there it is. Roll cage, another sort of new one. Well, not new, but new livery and rims for this year. And normally wouldn't be that interesting, but we have a few variants. So we have pretty much the same one, but with black rims instead. I think they are the same type of tyre. Yeah, they are. Same design, body shape style, but this is in yellow and blue. And then I think this is the oldest one that I have. Let me just check. The date 2000. Yeah, it's been around for a while. I've had this one for a long time, but this one has a tyre on the back. And that old style Hot Wheels design, which you may have seen a few times around in the 35-year anniversary. So, I mean, this one's probably pretty rare actually. It's got the old style, it's got that style rim and that style rim on the side. So yeah, and it has a bit more of a tow bar on the front, I've just noticed as well actually. So the chassis is actually different. I'm trying to see if there's any other differences. I don't think I don't think so, but it's still a pretty rare and nice design, and that's why I thought it was important. We've got the new Lamborghini Huracan Super Tufano, which is part of their sort of spec series, races all over the world, Europe, North America. This does come as a super treasure hunt if you're looking to find it. I think we touched on it last time. But this is the standard version, but they have done a few colour variants. Not this factory Lamborghini yellow, which I really do like. This silver one with the Italian flag down the side, and this white one as well. I think there's more, but these are the ones I found. It's beautiful, beautiful car, beautiful racer, and here it is out the box as well. My favourite is probably the yellow one, but they all look very nice, very highly detailed, very cool. Just beautiful race car, and I think This might be the last time we see it, really, because they may replace it with the new Hurricane Super Tufano, but we'll see. Good to see Hot Wheels have made a few colour variants, and not just colour variants, but they've done different numbers as well. So if you are a kid and you're looking to do a little fantasy race, you can have different ones without them all looking pretty similar. So that's very good. Another one that I thought was worth showing was the Honda S800 Racing, part of the Race Day series in the standard issue mainline. This is the last one in that series. Quite late in the year as well, 209 of 250. But I just thought it was a really snazzy looking design. I expect to see this in Team Transport. Very retro, looks a handful. Love the retro style, chrome rails, and good details as well. And this being, about £2 for a mainline, you're getting quite a lot out of it actually. And that's why I thought it was worth showing. I've searched through my collection, I can't find any. So, fairly new, or not, or very rare. And then we have the Godzilla Skyline. I think this one is from last year's. This is the R32, and there's Godzilla on the side there, blowing out God knows what. I've got part of the JDM Imports, which has been a very popular series. It is a mainline, but it's got the Godzilla stuff, and it's definitely not coming out of the packaging. But this is the new one for this year, which is the BCNR33 Skyline. Again, part of JDM Imports. And it has a very different, unique Godzilla on the side with the scratch marks. Godzilla himself. See if you can get a closer look. I think as a set they are cool. I expect to see a few more of these. But they are both very, very nice cars. I've got a few of these. This has been out on mainline a few times, as is this one. I think they both appeared in Fast and Furious sets as well. I'm not 100% sure about premium, but in mainline they definitely have. I've definitely seen this one a few times. I know that's been around for quite a while. It's quite an older casting. Not too sure on this one, but I know it's been around for a bit. But as a set, they look pretty cool as a 2-car set. And again, expect to see more. I think of those. The next, this is a big one. This is Hot Wheels Gold Premium, part of the Car Culture series, and this is one of the 2-car sets. They release them in mixes of 3, so there's 3 2-packs, and you can never really get them in the UK. You have to buy them online. I've not seen them in any stores. This is the Nissan Race Pack, and I'll talk about the cars in a second, but they usually release them in 3 sets. So they've done a Nissan Drift Pack, which kind of interests me, but not enough to buy. And this Race Pack, so the 94 Nissan Primera and the Nissan R390 GT1, which I think sort of around the same time. And then they did a American Classic Customs Corvette section as well. And there's all your information on the back. These will probably set you back about 20 quid. It's a £10 a car, but worth it because these cars are very unique and rare. Let's start with this one. The Nissan R390. This has been around in mainlines a couple of times. I did look for it because I thought I had one, but I couldn't find it. And for the race fans out there, obviously this did race at Le Mans. I think it did win. I think it was 1992, but I can't remember. You're probably wondering where the spoiler is and the rest of the kit. They only ever did this in this casting. So when it came out in mainline, it was part of the Factory Fresh series. It had no decals, nothing on it. It was just a plain casting, and obviously they've just carried on instead of adding all the stuff because they already had the casting. So, but I think it looks good. It's like an early testing one. It could be early 90s before they put all the kit on. It never ran in this livery. This is a nice matte black style. I quite like it actually. And then moving on to this. This is 1994 Nissan Primera. Obviously this raced in touring cars all over the world, mostly in Europe I think. Obviously in Japan this is a Japanese style livery, although I don't think it had Hot Wheels written on it. I think it just had Nissan I think it just had Nissan on it. But this is probably the car that attracted me to this set because it's from the Super Touring era. If you don't know what Super Touring is, go on YouTube and type in Super Touring and search the English stuff or the Japanese stuff, and you'll see why they're just like basic cars you see on the street, but ramped up to 1 million. Massive engines, higher body kit, and they were very popular. And I'll show you a few more now before I open it quickly. Hot Wheels have been getting into these recently. This is the new Honda Civic that ran around in the 90s, all 90s cars. This is the part of the Team Transport series this year. Only recently, actually. So I've got 2 of those. And they did bring out a variant in Boulevard as well. Same with these Audis. These are all around that time. Although if you've clued up in your Hot Wheels, you know that next year they're bringing out a Team Transport Audi A4 Super Touring. And I probably might do a video on the whole stuff, to be honest. And the BMW as well, which is a bit more leaning towards the 2000s, but still in that era. But honestly, amazing that Hot Wheels have decided to get into it. And also in the 90s, they featured these beautiful Alfa Romeo 155s. These came out in Team Transport. They're just beautiful. It's in perfect Alfa Corse red. And the trucks they're very good as well. I think I did show them in their showcase video. And they also brought out the sort of Martini-esque sponsorship variants. Part of the Italian, I can't remember the name, Spectra Summit series that came out last year. And then we have the Agip sponsored Mercedes CLK. These are all pretty much racing the German series. DTM. And this is from the Race Day series last year. So Hot Wheels Race Day. And we'll talk about Race Day 2024, the new Race Day, as soon as we get our hands on them. Because that's a big talking point. And they also this one, I think this one came, this is the Works Mercedes, the D2 Privat sponsored one, which I think came in a car culture pack, I think, called, I can't remember what it's called, German Deutschland Design, I think that was the one, Deutschland Design. So you can get that, or I think you can get it as a single casting, but you can get it as a 5-pack as well. I think I might have showed it in a showcase video, and there's containers. And there's a sort of more standard green, but it's good to see Hot Wheels getting into the Super Touring, because they are some of the coolest race cars of all time, and this Nissan is no exception. So let's open it up, just to give you one more look. Going to take a second out because there's a few layers to this. Let's put up a fight. See how well packaged it is. There's this flip plastic casing. And there we go. Matte black. You got Bridgestone on there. Tyres they would have run. Nismo, which was the tuning company. And it isn't a proper race car, I will admit, but as a sort of testing showcase car, I think it looks beautiful, and I love the matte finish on there, sort of stealth. You know, there was so much money in Le Mans in the 90s that all the manufacturers were trying to hide the info from the rest of them, so they probably would have done something like this, to be honest, before they added all the extra parts. Imagine, and this was a street legal car as well before it became a race car. Imagine driving one of these. Imagine how much it's worth. And then the Primera. There were a few different variants of this. This is the Japanese one for sure. Probably the earliest variant because they would have got hold of it. 2023. Let's see what this one says. 2020. So yeah, this has been around a couple of years. This is definitely brand new though. I love the Japanese style racing board there. Again, Bridgestone tyres, and the white rims are very nice. This is probably one of the earliest variants. Japanese touring cars, JTC, something, I think. They've even whited out the Hot Wheels logo there. It's quite cool. Nissan. Just a really, really awesome race car. A great era of racing in the 90s. Google 90s Le Mans and 90s touring cars and have a look. This will fit very nicely in the collection, I think. I'm very happy with that. I expect to see, I mean, some cars don't make it to mainline, so I don't expect to see this in mainline anytime soon, but may carry on in premium. And do you know what would be really awesome, but they probably won't do it, is if they did a Super Touring silver rated premium 5-pack and put them all in there. Maybe that's what they're building up to, because there are a few different ones. When this Audi's joining as well, there will be about 5 or 6 different castings. So you never know. Right, well that's the bulk of the unboxing and the showcase, but there is one more thing I want to share. As you know, Formula 1 has started a new partnership with Hot Wheels coming out next year. They've already released 2 castings, the first one being the Mattel Creations premium one with the changeable tyres and stuff. Go on Mattel Creations to see what that looks like. You can pre-order it now for a June release, I think, or mid-summer release next year. And then they've also released a mainline casting in plastic with the Red Bull livery and everything. It looks really, really nice. And I think that's in A or B case, so it'll be out pretty early. And I expect some colour variants of that as well. But Formula 1 did have a big partnership with Hot Wheels back in sort of 90s, early 2000s. It also spread to McDonald's as well. I got hold of one in its original case. And they did a few different teams. And if you notice something as well, Hot Wheels cars these days always face to the right. But this one's facing to the left. So that's quite strange. Part of the Hot Wheels GP series. And these were really good on the tracks as well, on the Hot Wheels tracks. This is from the Williams F1 team. There's your Williams car there. And I think they did this basic Hot Wheels design for all the cars and just put the different liveries on, which I think they're going to do for the new castings by the looks of it. And they also did a custom Hot Wheels Formula 1 racetrack, which always looked awesome. It does look super cool. And they did a few different teams: Ferrari, Jaguar, Jordan, McLaren, and Williams, which is this one. So you get quite a grid if you got them. Hot Wheels 2000, and they did these for, there's all the teams there. Did these for about 3 or 4 years actually. Well, as far as I can remember anyway. And they did a few variants. There's another Williams F1 team. This is probably from the 1999. I think this was the season they changed to this sort of livery. But again, it's all using the same casting. Obviously, this one's been worn. It's been out of the box. And they also did a Stewart Grand Prix, which you can just about make out. You got the HSBC sponsorship. And these are full metal as well. I mean, there are plastic pieces on, like the barge boards here. But they are metal castings, proper race cars. Proper sponsorships. I think they were everywhere at the time. They also made it to McDonald's, as I said, so you can get one of these. And I think a little piece of plastic track with the stickers on in Happy Meal. I mean, you never see anything like this now, but how cool was that? And this was the Jaguar one with the stickers, some stickers on there. I've got a Jordan one. And these were going for a couple of years, so there were a couple of different variants. I think these are more the later ones. Another Williams, BMW Williams with different sponsorships. This, I think, was 2002. And it also extended to Micro Machines, but we'll get onto that another time. And then they did a McDonald's one with the McDonald's sponsorship, which looks a bit like a Ferrari, I suppose. But it is McDonald's. And they didn't really do anything with the casting for a while. and they brought it back a couple of years ago. So you see it's got same casting but updated decals, updated rims, updated paint job. What does that say on there? 1998. Yeah, so 1998 to 2003 maybe was the original. And then they brought out this one again a couple of years ago. But I wouldn't expect to see any of these in circulation anytime soon because of the new Hot Wheels cars that are coming out with Formula 1 next year. I suggest you go on Google to see what they look like. But yeah, that's pretty much the whole unboxing showcase video. So we've got the new Boulevard series, which you should check out. Mainlines and treasure hunts. The new 2-pack, Nissan 2-pack, go check them out. And then some retro stuff as well. I've got a load of unique stuff in my collection that I want to share at some point when I can. But this is kind of the bulk of what I wanted to get through. And they will go nicely in the collection. Any questions or any comments, just please leave them. And well, yeah, keep enjoying yourself and keep on collecting.